Well, hello, welcome to News Round, where we do your recap of top stories that made headlines during the week. Coming up, a High Court in Ibadan adjourns the ruling on the bail applications for suspects involved in the December palliative stampede. Three children abducted in Bauchi State have been rescued and reunited with their parents. The Chinese Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Wang Yi, reiterates his country's commitment to safeguarding Africa's security and sovereignty. Plus, at least 10 people were killed in wildfires in Los Angeles as officials warn high winds could fan flames further. And that's News Round in view. We begin in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, where a High Court has adjourned the ruling on the bail applications for the suspects involved in the Ibadan Funfair Stampede that tragically claimed the lives of 35 minors. After hearing arguments from the defense counsels for the three suspects, Justice Kamaruddin Olaoyin postponed the ruling on their bail applications till Tuesday, January 13th.
The three suspects, Naomi Shilekunola, Uriyomi Hamzat, and the principal of the Islamic school in Orita Basharan area of Ibadan, Abdullahi Fasisi, are standing trial over the stampede which occurred during a Christmas children fun fair in December of 2024. The incident claimed the lives of 35 minors. All the suspects had filed an application seeking to bail the suspects. The accused were arraigned by a magistrate court sitting in Iyagokun on a 4-count charge of conspiracy, acceleration of death, negligent acts causing harm, and failure to provide adequate security and medical facilities. The cases were argued separately by the counsel in a proceeding that lasted more than 5 hours. In their respective arguments, the lawyers told the court why the suspects should be allowed to enjoy their freedom, noting that there are no sufficient evidence before the court to warrant their confinement to a correctional facility.
We have argued that for us, holding charge is unknown to law. We were arraigned for charges which we felt that the magistrate court has no jurisdiction to take. And in view of the fact that it has no jurisdiction, if they were to be remanded, they must be remanded pursuant to a proper application made to the court, either by the person having the authority having custody of Uriyomi or by the state.
Court has not said anything. Ruling has been adjourned to 13th of January 2025. So the court has not said anything. We have just argued. So we are not expected to either tell the press or the public, this is for, this is against. We have argued, the matter has been adjourned to 13th February 2025.
These are provisions of the law. Jurisdiction is given or conferred to a court by the enabling statute that set up that court or the constitution itself. There is nothing in the enabling statute, that is the magistrate court law for your state and the constitution of Nigeria, as well as all the relevant statutes that confer jurisdiction on a magistrate to countenance an offense which is alleged to have been committed.
In the meantime, the Oyo State government, represented by the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Mr. Abiodun Aikomo, opposed the bill application, and he gives his reasons.
The applicants filed their summons for bail before the court, and we opposed all the three applications. So arguments were taken. You can see they're just coming out of the court. Unfortunately, that issue has been submitted before the court, and arguments have been taken. So we await the ruling of the court on it on the 13th.
The suspects are currently being remanded at the Nigerian Correctional Center, Agodi, Ibadan.
Meanwhile, three children who were abducted from Bauchi State in December 2024 and sold in Anambra State have reunited with their parents. The Bauchi State Governor, Bala Mohammed, used the opportunity to call for stricter punishments for offenders while expressing concern over the delays in the trial of previous abduction cases. Our correspondent, Hajara Aliyu, reports.
It's an emotional moment as these children, aged between 4 and 6, are reunited with their parents after being abducted in Bauchi by a woman and sold in Anambra in December 2024. This is not the first child abduction case in Bauchi. In January 2024, children stolen from the state and sold in Kano and Anambra states were recovered by the police.
That day at around 13:00 hours.
The Commissioner of Police provides details on how this set of children were abducted and the efforts made to recover them through the support of the Anambra Police and the government.
The co-tenant, who happens to be a new tenant in the house, not more than 5 days, whose identity has not been ascertained, took the children with the consent of their mothers under the pretext of purchasing toys at Gwalameji markets, which was on that day. Since their departure, the co-tenant has failed to return. An effort made by the parents to locate her had been very unsuccessful.
Deeply concerned by this development, Governor Mohammed announces plans to introduce an executive order aimed at enforcing stricter tenant screening measures. However, he expresses frustration over the delays in prosecuting suspects in similar cases.
That's why I'm urging the Attorney General and the judicial family to ensure prompt prosecution of those culprits. Even those who perpetuated the first one that came through Kano, they have not been prosecuted. They should be prosecuted promptly and severe penalties to be given.
One of the suspects remains at large, while another has confessed to purchasing one of the children for 2 million naira in Anambra.
I didn't know that the child has been stolen. I applied for adoption officially to our Ministry of Women Affairs. So that was it. I now met them. They said that they are under the ministry.
The police explains that investigation is still ongoing while urging parents to be wary of those that come around their children. Hajara Aliyu, Channels Television News.
And the National Assembly committees on appropriation from the two chambers had separate meetings with chairmen of the standing committees to discuss the process of passing the budget. According to the chairman of the Committee on Appropriations, Abubakar Bichi, the harmonization of the reports from the exercise will take place on Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025, where the committee is expected to lay its report before the end of the month.
Barely 1 week into the new year, lawmakers who had embarked on recess for the Yuletide immediately after President Bola Tinubu laid before them the proposed 49.7 trillion naira 2025 budget resumed to begin work in earnest. Committees from the two chambers hold separate meetings with chairmen of standing committees to discuss the timetable for the budget passage process.
The first thing we have succeeded in doing is to ensure that the hard copy of this document was given to all committee chairmen as their working document. And this is to enable the committees to invite all the MDAs to defend whatever has been allocated to them in that document, starting with their personnel, overhead, and the capital. After which, we are expecting the report back from the 15th of January to the 18th of January. And from there, collation and tidying up of the document will commence with the Committee on Appropriation.
As you have seen the committee chairman here, we had the discussions in terms of budget defense. We are commencing from tomorrow to 17th of this month. And we are expecting that all the MDAs, both the ministers and head of agencies, to come up to defend their budget. That's the essence of budget defense now. They are coming, we'll ask them questions. If we are comfortable, we can allocate the money. If not, we can do otherwise.
According to the timetable, the lawmakers apparently have just under 3 weeks to finalize the budget process. The lawmakers are planning to suspend plenary upon resumption from the Yuletide holiday to give committees time to conclude work on the budget.
As you're all aware, The time frame is short, but we have no choice than to work hard. And that is why I must thank all my colleagues who have agreed with us to shelve their holiday. And we will do that with all vigor and ensure that all that needs to be done on this document must be done. Senate will definitely, in their wisdom, give 2 weeks break. So the 31st of January is a tentative date to guide our workings. If there is need for us that the budget be extended beyond 31st before eventual passage, we will not hesitate to do that.
The Senate meeting then proceeds into a closed-door session to finalize strategies for a timely passage of the 2025 budget. From the National Assembly, Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, the federal government has given assurances that the national carrier will be established before the expiration of the administration of President Bola Tinubu. The newly appointed permanent secretary of the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Dr. Ibrahim Kana, confirmed this when he assumed office in the ministry in Abuja. Dr. Kana also pledged to ensure improvement in the state of airports and operations across the country.
My deployment to the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development is quite timely. And while receiving my deployment letter, I received very clear instructions, very, very clear, with 2 tasks to achieve within this period by His Excellency Mr. President, as well as the Head of Service of the Federation. 1, to ensure that the Air Nigeria comes to be. 2, sanitize our airports across the country. All of us will agree that there is no better time to have an Air Nigeria than now. Therefore, my task, day and night, is to work with His Excellency, the Honorable Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Barrister Festus Keyamo, to achieve the renewed hope agenda of His Excellency, Mr. President, to give birth to what Nigerians are all waiting for, that is Air Nigeria. By His grace, we shall achieve this within this short period of time of the tenure of His Excellency, Mr. President. And at the same time also, to sanitize our airport. Let our airports operate the way airports are operated all over the world. Let our passengers in the airports feel at home to operate and move seamlessly, transiting from one point of the airport to another. Our dream is to give birth to a national carrier within the administration of His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Welcome back. Well, the new President General of the Igbo Sociocultural Group, Ohanaeze Ndigbo, Senator John Azutambata, has assured the Igbo people of his commitment to an all-inclusive leadership that will foster unity and growth in the Southeast and River State. Senator Mbata, who's from the Igbo-speaking part of River State, spoke after his swearing-in at the old government launch in Enugu State, where the Southeast governors and other key stakeholders in the region were present.
The governor of Enugu State, Peter Mba, and those of Imo, Abia, and Anambra states make their way into the old government lodge in Enugu for the Ohanaeze Ndigbo convention and the election of the President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo worldwide. They exchanged pleasantries with already seated guests, stakeholders, political stalwarts like former Senate President in the Southeast region before traditionally breaking the kola to kickstart the event. The outgoing President General, Nze Chukwu, who served out the term of Emmanuel Nwanyanwu, who died on July 25, 2024 at the age of 81, takes the lead and gives a summary of his achievements.
With the NEC, have initiated registration of every Igbo in Nigeria who is 18 years and above with a sum of 100 naira, while those in diaspora will register with a sum of just $1. These registrations are followed with monthly payments of the same amount to sustain the registration. Affiliate organizations and groups will register with 250,000 and with the requirement for annual renewal. Benefits accruing for membership are part of the terms of reference being developed by the Committee on Registration, Contacts, and mobilization.
Governor Mba highlights the importance of speaking as a collective voice in pursuits for regional growth and development.
Standing as a unit imbues us with the resilience of the entire stack. Let us be like a stack of arrows. I have no doubt that everyone in this room will love to see Ohanaeze Ndigbo attain a bigger clout as the champion of Igbo interests.
On his part, the chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum and governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodimma, talks about the formation of a unity list and commitments of the governors to a functional Ohanaeze Ndigbo.
The governors who want Ohanaeze to unite as a family, to look for homegrown solutions for our problems, because it is now very clear that if we don't solve our problems ourselves, nobody will solve our problems for us. We need to exist as a people in unity.
The new President General assures the people of an inclusive leadership that will foster unity and development.
I thank Ndigbo for reposing in me the responsibility of the office of the President General. I want to say that you will not be disappointed. I believe that under the guidance of our governors, our elders, Ndimobi, we will do the needful and make you proud.
The people are optimistic that, as promised, the commitments of the governors will birth a new and renewed Southeast region.
And the Nigeria police have paraded a certain man, Ogaga Dixon, a suspected member of an armed robbery syndicate alleged to be responsible for the death of Mr. Hassan Jega, the divisional police officer at the Agbaro Division in Delta State. He was killed on October the 14th, 2024, during a fierce gun battle between a team of police officers he led and the assailants.
It is a harvest of arrests by the Nigeria police as suspected criminals are paraded in Abuja for various offenses. From kidnapping to murder, the roles of the suspects are highlighted.
The same group around October 2024 had set an ambush after a void operation that led to the death of CSP Hassan Jega, the DPO Agbaro Division in Delta State, during a fierce gun duel between a team of police officers led by the deceased DPO and the assailants.
A child trafficking and kidnapping syndicate, allegedly led by a clergyman, were equally paraded.
The operation led to the rescue of 5 children between the ages of 2 to 4, abducted from Jos in Plateau State, and the arrest of Nama Pontel, female. When interrogated, the suspect confessed that it was one Pastor Dayo Bernard male of End Time Army Ministry. It is actually an End Time. End Time Army Ministry, Bukuru Jos, who kept the children in her custody.
Other suspects allegedly responsible for the theft of covers of manholes and vandalization of electric poles in the nation's capital are also in the net.
The commander successfully arrested groups of suspects involved in vandalism and theft of manhole covers within the Federal Capital Territory. Our operatives conducted targeted operations leading to arrest of 50 suspects and recovery of 25 manhole covers.
The FCT Commissioner of Police reads the Riot Act to other criminally minded persons.
I want to emphasize that the Federal Capital Territory Police Command and our sister agencies operate zero tolerance towards this act of vandalism. And we have resolved to all go out to ensure that we continue to embark on raids to rid the town of these menace.
The operations, according to the FCT Commissioner of Police, exemplifies the unwavering resolve of the Nigeria Police Force and to combat crime and enhance national security.
To other matters now, the Chinese Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Wang Yi, stated his country's commitment to safeguarding Africa's security and sovereignty by opposing foreign interference in the internal affairs of African countries. Speaking in the company of Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, in the State House after meeting with President Bola Tinubu, the Chinese minister said China will provide Africa with a grant of 1 billion won for military assistance, amongst other things.
President Bola Tinubu arriving for the meeting with a delegation led by the Chinese Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Wang Yi. After the closed-door meeting, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, leads his counterpart to a joint press briefing. According to the ambassador, the meeting seeks to deepen the relationship between both countries.
Nigeria remains committed to the implementation of the agreements and MOUs, and also, of course, to, just like Minister Wang said, to ensure that we expand this upgraded relationship, which is the comprehensive strategic partnership.
The Chinese minister, in his remarks, touched on the financial cooperation between both countries.
The renewal of the currency swap agreement shows how well we have carried out our financial cooperation and sustained its momentum. As with regard to Nigeria's wish to increase the line of the currency swap, we will favorably study and consider the issue. Our cooperation is going well in many ways in terms of finance. For instance, we welcome Nigeria to issue panda bonds in China because we have full confidence in Nigeria's credibility.
He also made clear his country's position on security on the African continent and the West African region.
China will firmly support Africa in safeguarding its legitimate rights and interests, practicing true multilateralism and not letting power politics and bullyism find their place in Africa. At the United Nations Security Council, China's vote will always go to Africa. China supports Nigeria in rallying countries in the region to achieve strength through unity, to build synergy through reconciliation, and to promote security through cooperation in order to achieve peace and stability in the region.
A position Nigeria supports.
So private military companies, as far as we're concerned, it doesn't matter whether they're from north, south, east, west. We don't think it is going to provide the panacea. But when you work with us, then we're able to lead others in solving the problem. And also, we want to work with countries like China in domesticating production of military equipment, both kinetic and non-kinetic. This is what we're looking for, so that we don't have to go out looking to procure, and the delays and the, so many rules and regulations.
The Chinese minister is on a 2-day visit to Nigeria and is the first foreign envoy to visit the president this year. From the presidential villa, Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.
And finally, on news round, the county sheriff for the city, Robert Luna, says death toll from the wildfires raging through Los Angeles and California is expected to grow. 2 massive wildfires menacing Los Angeles and the east and west devoured nearly 10,000 homes, and other structures have been affected by the incident. The Palisades fire between Santa Monica and Malibu on the city's western flank, and the Eating fire near the Pasadena already rank as the most destructive in Los Angeles history, consuming more than 34,000 acres or some 53 square miles, turning entire neighborhoods to ash. The area, once an upscale and picturesque enclave where many celebrities reside, has now been reduced to ruins.
There are currently 5,316 structures that were damaged or destroyed. And unfortunately, our thoughts and prayers go out to the families. We do have a confirmed 2 fatalities that are now due to this incident. We are now actively engaged in a new brush fire. We're calling it the Kenneth Fire in the West Hills area of Los Angeles on the border of Ventura County. This fire was over 50 acres upon arrival, with the potential for rapid growth over the next hour. Over 60 fire companies from the Los Angeles City Fire Department, LA County Fire Department, and Ventura County Fire Department were initially dispatched to the specific incident. Additional resources have been requested and are en route.
There is a new fire, unfortunately, in West Hills, pushing into Ventura County, and we are expecting this fire to rapidly spread due to high winds. This is a reminder that this is a very dynamic situation that can change quickly. The priority for all Angelenos remains stay safe and please follow directions from the public safety officials. When you are told to evacuate, please evacuate. When you don't evacuate, you compromise the abilities of the first responders, one, to address this crisis. You put yourself in danger and you put others in danger. There's going to be zero tolerance for anybody that would be, I don't even know how to say this, but that would dare to enter houses or loot property or anything from the individuals or from structures that remain standing. I was with D.A. Hochman this morning, and he made it very clear that if anybody is involved in looting or any property damage, that he is ready to prosecute to the full extent of the law. We're already looking ahead to aggressively rebuild. The city of Los Angeles will lead in this effort in the areas that are impacted by the city. We are going to clear the red tape and unnecessary delays and cost and headaches that people experience in ordinary times so that we can rebuild your homes quickly.
And those were the top stories for the first full week of 2025. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ladi Williams. Bye for now.